Welcome back, everybody. It is the Wrong Damn Reviews at the wrong damn time. And here is I, the wrong damn person to be doing this, Andrew Wright. And I'm coming to you today with, finally, we're going to dive into this box set a little bit, finally, from Eric Rohmer. If you're not familiar with him, he is a French director, became prominent at the very end of the New Wave in France, closer towards like the end of the 60s, early 70s, when a lot of those other guys were getting involved into cinema, getting out of journalism, getting involved into cinema in the early 50s, early 60s. Eric Rohmer, born Jean-Marie Maurice Charrier. I'm probably butchering that again. I'm sorry. I try to look up pronunciations before I do my videos, but you can't always find exact pronunciations for everybody's names. And I don't like to sound like an uneducated American, so I normally try to look them up. So anyways, if I'm not butchering his name, great. And if I am, I apologize. If you want to post in the comments where I can find an exact pronunciation or whatever, we'll worry about that when we cross that bridge. He got his name from two different people. Erich von Stroheim, who was a prominent director in the early 30s, silent film director. He basically lost prominence towards the end of the silent film era, when the talkies, as they called them, started happening, and he was basically kind of stuck in his old ways. He is actually a character in Sunset Boulevard from Billy Wilder, if anybody is familiar with that movie. He plays the butler to, now I can't remember her name, but I know it's, I don't know. But it's a fantastic movie. If you have not seen it, if you're not familiar with it, definitely check it out. I'm a big fan of pretty much anything Billy Wilder's ever done. But we're not talking about him. And back to the Eric Rohmer Collection. He got his name from Erich von Stroheim, and also an author of books for the Fu Manchu series named Sax Rohmer. Basically, Jean-Marie was more of a recluse, didn't really want to be famous, didn't like the spotlight, and so kind of penned a name to basically just kind of keep that distance from being known. And so that was where his name came up. He started directing movies, like I said, in the late 60s, early 70s, kind of towards the end of the French New Wave, and continued on into the early 2000s up until his death. His box set here is basically the Comedies and Proverbs collection, so it's a lot of his more lighthearted featurettes. These 6 Moral Tales will be coming out from Criterion Collection, which features more of his earlier work, which I'm a little bit less familiar with. I've only seen Chloe in the Afternoon. I've stated in another video before that I really don't know a whole lot about this guy. I've been really big into the French New Wave ever since I kind of started with Breathless and kind of dove into a lot of different areas with different directors. And so he was always one that I kind of wanted to check out, and I did get this collection on eBay. It is pretty expensive now. It's about $150. You can probably find it for around $100, which is what I paid for it. It's a 10-movie collection, so about $10 a piece per Blu-ray. I think it's a pretty good deal. However, Arrow's going to be re-releasing this as just the Comedies and Proverbs, which doesn't contain the other 4 movies. The Comedies and Proverbs set, I assume, is going to run around $60 or $70. So you'll at least get the first 6 films in this, which is the 3 that I'm going to cover today, plus 3 more that I'll probably cover in my next review. And so that's going to be an affordable box set you can find with at least the first 6 of this films from this box set in a way that you can find them cheaply. Like I said, though, if you can search the internet, save searches on eBay so that you're able to get notified when things get listed. That's kind of how I got this. A guy had a best offer on it, so I put the best offer in, and he took it. So I was able to get it for a little bit cheaper than what people are asking for it. So, like I said, I figured I got a pretty good deal on it. I was happy with it. 10 movies for $100. It's a nice box set. But yeah, so let's dive into these. So first off in this box set would be The Aviator's Wife, starring Philippe Marlaud, and Marie Riviere, I believe is how you would pronounce her last name. I don't think I butchered that one. But anyways, it's a really great movie about relationships, or the disconnection in communication within relationships. But I thought it was a really great movie. Awesome start to this collection. And even if you're not familiar with this stuff, I think it's a pretty good place to begin. It's a very easy movie to get into. It's a lighthearted movie. And I feel like a lot of it's pretty relatable. I mean, I've read some things, especially in this little book, that would suggest that they feel like this movie's a little bit dated. However, I don't feel like much has changed with relationships and how people deal with relationships from 40 years ago to now. I mean, I think a lot of it's pretty similar. Obviously, the ways in which we break the ice and communicate through relationships has changed a lot. In this movie, they resort to letters underneath one another's door, or calling on a payphone to a work job because nobody has like their own home phones, I guess, in France. So it was just weird, yeah, that was just their means of communication. So obviously it's a little bit different than what we're used to nowadays. But I'm not going to go too much into the details of the movie. It's a great film. I highly suggest watching it. Really good story, like I said, with some relatable relationship issues that I still think are very relevant today. But the picture quality for this movie, I think, is probably the worst off in the set so far for the 3 films that I have watched. It's got a very soft filmic grain, heavy debris, so I feel like very close-ups don't show as much refined detail. However, the picture is still very smooth. Colors look really nice. So I think overall, the picture quality is pretty decent. Say it's a huge increase over any kind of DVD. I have not watched the DVD, but I did watch some. There's a trailer at the end, which I assume is standard definition. And it's not totally different. Obviously, there is a pretty decent uptick in clarity on the Blu-ray, but obviously comparatively to other films I've seen, even other films from that era, I realize that this is kind of going for more of the New Wave aesthetic. Even though it's 20 years after the New Wave, he is kind of filming in the Paris streets on a very low budget. Pedestrians in the background are basically just there. They are not extras in the set. So it's very free in how they were filming this movie. And so I feel like as a result, you're not going to get a super clear picture out of this. It's trying to retain that aesthetic. However, the color palette in this film is very cool. It's got a lot of whites and blues, soft yellows, and I feel like the Blu-ray does a really good job of rendering these colors. They look very appropriate. Skin textures also look very good, correct colors. So I'm still overall happy with the transfer on this Blu-ray. And it is housed on an MPEG-4 encoded 1080p Blu-ray. Audio for this disc is a 2.0 mono mix, and basically being a heavy dialogue movie, I feel like everything was mixed pretty well. There is some exterior stuff in the streets, like I said, where they're walking around, talking. You have other people in the background, cars, those things. They're all mixed very appropriately in the mix. Nothing is ever too heavy over the dialogue of the movie, and it just sounds very nice. I think it's a very nice audio track. Happy with that. Special features leave a little bit to be desired. There is only basically a trailer and a little conversation with Eric Rohmer. It would have been nice to see maybe an audio commentary with anybody, really. I mean, it's always interesting to hear other people's takes. Obviously, it would have been really nice with Eric Rohmer or Jean-Marie doing a commentary, because then you can get a little bit more of the behind the scenes, what was going on, the thought process, those kind of things, which are always really interesting. However, this little 12-minute featurette's really not bad either. It kind of goes into a start with his early journalist, film critic life, and then basically how he developed into wanting to be a filmmaker after all of his other peers in the French New Wave were already basically in the scene and had made several featurettes. And so it talks about his 6 Moral Tales, and then it also talks about how his Comedies and Proverbs series differed from morally how the themes in those movies played out in the 6 Moral Tales. So overall, first movie in the bunch, I'm pretty happy with. Like I said, it's got some decent decent picture quality. Audio quality is pretty good. I'm happy with the mix on this. Like I said, just lack of special features. Would have been nice to see a little bit more. However, I was reading these a little bit as I went, and there's a nice little booklet that comes with it. Basically breaks down every movie, shows you the actors in it. Yeah, also shows you like cinematographer, directed by, screenplay, that kind of stuff. So that's pretty nice information. And then basically each movie has another essay written by some film journalist, normally for a magazine here in the US. And most of these were pretty much written in like the early 2000s and were probably compiled for this box set. So it's also got some pictures in it of the different cast for the different movies. So I read the thing for The Aviator's Wife. It was a really nice companion to the Blu-ray. So as far as not having any special features, it's definitely nice to have this article to kind of go back to. At least there you can kind of get, you know, a little bit of history and somebody else's kind of take on the movie. What themes did they see in it? How do they feel it relates to today's societal state? And it's just really neat. So obviously it's a pretty nice addition to it. And as we can see, it's a pretty thick booklet. So there's a lot of information in here. And we'll also pull out the case. So Aviator's Wife with the newly designed artwork. Back cover. The next film in this box set is titled A Good Marriage. It was done 1 year later in 1982. That's what I thought. So I just wanted to make sure before I said it. Aviator's Wife is 1981. This was done in 1982. Stars Beatrice Romand and Andre Dusselier. And I also really like this movie a lot. I think I like this a little bit more than Aviator's Wife overall. I've seen a lot of critics say otherwise, but obviously that's what's lovely about film, is you may like something about a film that somebody else doesn't like and vice versa. So it's nice to see difference of opinions. If everybody had the same opinion, we'd be really fucking boring. And so, like I said, I like this movie a lot, and this is where the Blu-ray really starts to take an uptick in quality. The picture on this disc looks really great. Again, it's housed on an MPEG-4 encoded 1080p Blu-ray. Colors on this film are a lot warmer, lots of reds and browns. Lots of greens for a lot of open landscape. But anyways, this movie looks great. Arrow did a really good job with the restoration on this one. There's a lot of fine detail in the image. A lot of the debris has been scrubbed away. And close-ups look really good. Colors pop really great. Color palette, like I said, is very warm, and I think the colors are rendered very beautifully on this Blu-ray. Audio on the disc, again, is a French 2.0 mono track. Again, sounds very good. This one being filmed more in like a smaller French city, a very cobblestone-esque city, a lot of brick buildings and architecture. It's very pretty. So those cooler, soft colors for the brick buildings also look really good in this picture too. But where I was going with that is there's not as much traffic in the background. So the dialogue is basically going to be the brunt of this mix, and it's mixed really great in here. It sounds good. You do have other sound effects, obviously. It wouldn't be a movie without them, and so those are all mixed appropriately. So I'm very happy with this audio track. Again, special features-wise, we are stuck with another conversation with Eric Rohmer, this one being a little bit more in-depth about this film and how his difference in shooting style and approach to from this movie to Aviator's Wife were a little bit different. So that was a kind of a cool thing to watch. Again, it's only about 15 minutes. And then there's also included an original trailer at standard definition. So again, you can see the difference between the Blu-ray remaster and the original standard definition. And I think this transfer, like I said, boasts a pretty nice transfer. The artwork for this, again, is the newly recommissioned artwork. It is actually, in fact, housed in the same DVD case or Blu-ray case as the Aviator's Wife, just reversible art. So pretty cool how they have done that for you. So you can basically choose to display whichever film you want. So I flipped them for the purpose of this video, and now I'm going to flip it back. And again, booklet, which also has an article written by Sophie Monks Kaufman. So about 4 pages, and some really nice color photos. So again, the article is a very nice companion to the special features. Again, it's housed in this really nice book. So like I said, I'm still a little bit upset with the lack of special features. It'd be really nice to get a little bit more than a 15-minute featurette with Eric Rohmer Even if it's just, a couple 5-minute segments with just different film critics or, whatever. Just surprise us. It would just be nice to have a little bit more. However, with what we get, the booklet definitely makes up for a little bit of that. And so far, still pretty happy with this box set. And last in this box set that I'm going to be talking about in this first segment will be Pauline at the Beach, starring Amanda Langlet and Ariel Dombele. Another one I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly. So again, I apologize. I don't want to sound uneducated, but it was another one I could not find any pronunciation. And if I remember back to my French, I believe S's are typically silent when they're before an L. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, again, great movie. So far, this is actually my least favorite, is in terms of just the overall movie. It covers a lot of relationship issues. Again, I think that's a theme for these films. But I just don't think I like the characters as much in this one. Possibly the dialogue, too. I feel like he writes his dialogue similarly, but maybe it was just the characters. Again, I can't really pinpoint why I didn't like it as much, but it just didn't sit with me as much. Again, I liked it. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. If you looked on my Letterboxd page, you can see that I've still given all of these films basically a 4 out of 5. I've highly enjoyed them. They're still great movies, great acting, and so there's not much to not enjoy about them. So like I said, I think it's just the characters I just didn't like as much. So, I don't know. Maybe with repeated viewings, I'll enjoy it more. I know for a lot of people, this is the most accessible and most enjoyed out of the box set, I would say, from what I've been reading. So I could be mistaken. I've only read a few different places, and I've never talked to anybody personally who's watched any of these films. And so anyways, back to a little review of it. Picture quality on this disc is really good still. Again, retains, I would say, as strong of a transfer as the last disc did. Again, it's housed on an MPEG-4 encoded 1080p Blu-ray. Again, his feature has a bit of a mix between cool and warm colors. It's a very beachy atmosphere, so there's still a lot of vibrant greens and bright reds. But there's also a lot of cool, beachy kind of feeling colors as well, especially in a lot of the housing that's on the beach. But anyways, the picture looks very clear. A lot of the debris has been scrubbed away. Has a nice filmic grain with some added detail. And as I've said with the color palette, colors are rendered very appropriately on this disc, are given an added boost, and look great. Audio again on this Blu-ray, which I'm assuming is going to be the theme for most of them, is a 2.0 mono French track. Dialogue is mixed in very well. There is a lot more in the background going on with ocean sounds, wind, people on the beach having fun, and everything's mixed very well within this track. I was very happy with how it turned out. Sounds great. And finally, again, with the special features, we again have about another 18-minute featurette with Eric Rohmer talking about the film and how this movie is a little bit different from his last 2 films in this box set, or his first 2 films in this box set, I'm sorry, and has some cool little information about filming it and the ideas behind it, and also similar relationship themes. Also included is a theatrical trailer. Again, it's standard definition, so you're able to, if you want to, compare back and forth between the transfer on the Blu-ray and how the standard definition transfer looked originally. So there is an added uptick in quality, which is pretty nice to be able to go back and forth between that. And again, referencing the book, we have probably about a 5-page article in this book. Actually, so there's 2 different articles in this book. One by Jeffrey McNabb and one by Nestor Almendros, which I actually think is, I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty positive that was the cinematographer for this film. And I was just reading, and now I can't remember. They were also on the cinematographer on something else that was pretty awesome, and now I can't think of it. Oh well, I can't think of what the other movie was. But anyways, it's a great companion then too, because you get 2 articles on that film, so that's a pretty cool added addition. So far on the first 3 films in this box set, I'm very happy about them. I enjoyed the movies a lot. Like I said, and as I've explained, we have a little bit of lack of special features. However, makes up a little bit with the essays in the book with some nice color photos. So that loss in special features is then kind of added a little bit with that nice little booklet. So anyways, again, it's got some great packaging. I like the art on the box a lot, so I don't imagine I'll like the last 7 films any less than I liked this movie or these 3 movies. And so I think this is going to be a great box set overall to have. We will get back to you shortly with 2 more segments, or possibly 1 segment with 6 films. I mean, honestly, this one did take a little bit longer than I thought it would, so maybe I will probably just do another 2 segments for this box set. I also have some music I want to talk about. Always toys, but we're not going to do any toys for, I think, a minute, because there's nothing that I've picked up recently that I guess, feel inclined to review. There are some things that I've got on pre-order that I'm super excited to get my hands on, so we will be talking about those once those are released. But anyways, if you want to look at photos of pictures, you can always follow me on Instagram at Review the Right Thing. I post stuff most days, different things ranging from action figures that I've picked up in different awesome poses, kicking each other's asses, or Blu-rays or DVDs that I've purchased. Sometimes a little fun fact with the year, director, starring. So you're more than welcome to follow me on there and see things there. I also post on Twitter random things once in a while. I'd have to double check that too, because I'm recording from my phone. Because I know I changed my Instagram to Review the Right Thing. I don't think I did that on my Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, it is just at right, ANDD2005. So post a little bit of BS on there once in a while. You can also follow me on Letterboxd, because I will review things on there, or even just keep track of things that I've watched, and I don't always get to them on this channel. So that is another ANDD2005. You can follow me on Letterboxd. And again, I appreciate you guys watching. I am at, last time I checked, like 89 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. Whether I have 1 or 100, I'm super stoked that at least somebody out there is watching and enjoying what I'm doing as much as I'm enjoying uploading it and recording it. It's always weird talking to the camera and everybody else in the world seeing this. Sometimes I don't know exactly how I want to articulate certain things, but I just sit down and I start talking, and I'm happy that you guys want to listen. So again, I'm approaching 100 subscribers, which is awesome, so I'll probably do a little review, or not a little review, a little video then as well, once I reach 100, just thanking everybody. I would like to give something away, I guess. I'll kind of work out the details on how to do that. I suppose I'm going to want to get more people to start commenting on the videos, because there's no way for me to really do any kind of giveaway if nobody's communicating. So that's a thing I'm going to kind of just try to work out within the next so many subscribers, and do a little video and a little giveaway with that, just because I've got random shit that I don't need. If somebody out there is enjoying watching my videos and wants a little free prize, then here you are. Why the hell not? So anyways, I appreciate you guys again. Look forward to more reviews. Click subscribe, click the little bell so it'll notify you whenever I put up new content. We will be doing 2 more segments in this. I have some music that I want to talk about, and hopefully Animal Crossing won't destroy my life in the meantime, and I'll be able to get those out at a reasonable time. I'm not going to review Animal Crossing. I love it. I don't know how you really couldn't. If you know what you're getting into, you're going to enjoy it. If you guys want to watch a review, I highly suggest checking out Chris Stuckman. He's a person I know from coming into the place that I work with. We talk about movies and music a lot. He's also given me some pointers on these videos, so his feedback has always been appreciated. But anyways, anything that you want to know about Animal Crossing, he's going to be able to tell you way better than I will, and he's already told it. So there's no sense in me recording something that you can just click a button and see him and get a great review. So anyways, thanks again, guys. Look forward to wrong damn reviews at the wrong damn time, reviewing things the right way, wrong day, same bat channel. There's never a same time, because it's always whenever I feel like it. But thanks again for watching, and have a great one, guys. Stay safe.